Hi everyone, my name is Maddie, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I'm going to be doing the mid-year book Freakout tag. The fact that we are already at the point in the year where this tag is starting to come around is mildly terrifying to me, but we're here, so we're gonna do it. The one thing I will say, I am filming this on the 3rd of June. You will probably not be seeing it for a good couple of weeks after that, but this is one of the very, very few, if not only weekends in June that I'm actually going to be home and able to film. So I am having to pre-film a little bit. So I can't remember if there's questions on stats and stuff so far, but if there are, the numbers will be a couple weeks out of date by the time you're seeing this, but probably not vastly different. And yes, it's not quite the middle of the year, but I know when I want this video to go up and it's sooner than I will like to have a weekend home again to film. So we're pre-filming, it's fine, it's close enough. So the mid-year book Freakout tag is a tag that I feel like everyone does almost every year, and it was created by Ellie from Earl Grey Books and Chammy from Is That Chammy. I will obviously link both of them down below. They did create the original one years and years and years ago now, and it's still going, so I'll of course credit them. And I did it last year, I will link that video down below. I don't remember what I said in any of it, but I can't remember the questions, I can't remember what it's going to ask me, so I'm just gonna get started. Okay, so the first question is the best book you've read so far in 2020, and I feel like I have a pretty easy answer for this one, and that is A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. I will link up there a video where I read this book, along with lots of others, but I did read this one and talk about it a lot, because this is one of my new favourite books of all time. It was absolutely wonderful. This is a fantastic little novella. It's 160 pages, all about a land where robots were created, very much like human-like robots, and then they decided they no longer wanted to live in human society. It was the society they were created for, but they want to go out and experience things for themselves and learn for themselves. So they go out into the wild and live, and you're following a main character named Dax, who is traveling around as like a tea maker, I can't remember, tea merchant something, and they end up coming across one of these robots, and it is endearing, it is beautiful, it is so philosophical, it is so existential. I adored it with every fibre of my being. It's not out yet, it comes out mid-July, but I cannot recommend it highly enough, and I really want you all to read it. Please, it's so good and I love it, and I cannot wait to reread it. I would imagine I'll have read it at least once more before the end of the year, if not more than that, because I can't wait, and it's like a 3-hour-long read, so I kind of may as well. It's like rewatching a favourite film. So yes, that would be my favourite book of the year so far. I'm going to quickly scroll through my Goodreads now and see if there's been any other standouts I want to quickly speak about. Okay, I'm going to do a quick list of like other favourite books that I've read so far this year, because I really want to, though I think one of the questions is favourite sequel, so I'll leave one of these till that question. But other books you need to read because they are amazing. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, sapphic, romance, slightly sci-fi-y. Please read it, it is phenomenal. And Act Your Age, Eve Brown. Also romance. Oh my god, I can't deal with this book. It's hilarious, it's amazing. It's the 3rd book in the Brown Sisters trilogy. It's potentially the best book in the Brown Sisters trilogy. I can't believe I'm saying that. I feel like I'm betraying Danny Brown, but Eve Brown is amazing. Please read it, it's phenomenal. Second question, favourite sequel of the year. My favourite sequel of the year, my favourite duology of the year, is The Fever King and the Electric Heir by Victoria Lee. God almighty do I love these books. I do again have a whole video reading these books because yay. And oh my god, I love them with every fibre of my being. They are a dystopian duology, YA, though upper YA for sure, definitely quite graphic, definitely a lot of things. Look at trigger warnings, there are trigger warnings listed on Victoria Lee's website, so please check them. And oh my god, they're just so good. This follows a futuristic America where there has been a pandemic, funny, and very few people survive this virus, but if you do survive, you get magic, and it's based on like an innate ability you have, and it's really, really cool. And the main character we're following right at the beginning of this book does get magic and goes into like an institution to learn to use it, and it is amazing. You don't know who to trust, you don't know what's going on, it's all like mind-bending and thrillery, and it's so good, and I cannot recommend it highly enough, and it is very, very queer, just to make it even better. The next question, question 3, is a new release you haven't read yet that you want to, and I think for this I'm actually going to go with The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. This is a... oh my god, there's so many on this list, more coming to mind. We're going to stick with The Unbroken. This is an adult fantasy, it's sapphic, it sounds amazing, it sounds like kind of enemies to lovers kind of trope, it's got POC rep, it's got disability rep, and it sounds phenomenal. I'm just in a massive fantasy slump at the moment, so I don't feel like picking it up, but so much of me really wants to read it because I think I would absolutely love it. So I think that would probably be the top of my list for this one. I don't know much about it. I just know that it's potentially kind of Bodyguard vibes. The line that always gets me is like, fights happening in bedrooms and war rooms, and I'm like, that just sounds good. Everyone's been raving about it. Everyone loves it. I'm dying to read it. So we're gonna put that as the new release I can't believe I haven't read yet because I've been waiting for it for so long. But I also don't know when I'm going to get to because I don't want to read fantasy at the moment. The next question is your most anticipated release for the rest of the year, and I don't feel like I'm allowed to say A Psalm for the Wild built because I've already read it, but I do want a physical copy, so that's definitely up there. But I think what I'm going to say, it took me a minute to think of one because like all of my favourite authors, so Laini Taylor, Alex Harriott, Erin Morgenstern, Seanan Maguire, like all of them don't really have other books coming out this year. Seanan Maguire does have Under the Saltwater Sea, which is the sequel to Over the Woodward Wall, but I've not read that yet, so I'm not as anticipating it. But the book I am very much anticipating is A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. I've already mentioned Victoria Lee. She wrote The Fever King, which is one of my favourite trilogies of all time. She has got a dark academia, thrillery, sapphic book coming out, and God almighty can I not wait. I am so excited for it. It's coming out in like August, I want to say, and I cannot wait. So A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee, definitely my most anticipated release for the rest of the year, and I am gonna die every day I don't have this book until I get to read it. The next question is your biggest disappointment so far this year, and again I have two. The first being The Bear and the Nightingale. This has been recommended to me so many times as a book I will love due to loving Erin Morgenstern and Laini Taylor and things like that. And I thought I would love it, and I read it and I found it so boring. I found it a real slog to get through. I just didn't care for it really at all, which is a real shame. A lot of people have said try the sequels because they're very different in tone and I might like them, but it's really frustrating because I thought this was going to be like 5-star new favourite series and I just didn't care at all. It didn't do much for me at all, so that was a huge disappointment. And then also A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. This is a YA fantasy story which I thought I was going to adore and a lot of my friends have adored, and I again just found it quite dull. I didn't really care for the characters that much. I really didn't care for the plot. It felt a bit surface level. It just didn't do a whole lot for me. So again, very upsetting because I thought it was one I was going to absolutely love. So those are probably my two biggest disappointments of the year. They were both 3-star reads, neither of them were bad, but going in thinking they were likely to be the kind of book I'd rate 5 stars, a 3 star is always a little bit sad. And then the next question, the opposite of that, is your biggest surprise of the year, and I don't really feel like I can say A Psalm for the Wild built again, although it probably is. I thought it to be the kind of book I liked. I would not have pegged it as being a new favourite, so that was really cool. But other than that, I don't really have many particularly surprising books. Most have come out around the rating I would expect, and I haven't had that many like brand new favourites, unfortunately. But the other one I would say is potentially Muse of Nightmares, even though this is a reread, and I loved it the first time. I didn't think it'd be possible for me to love it more. I didn't even think I'd love it as much. And it was even better. It was somehow even better than when I first read it like 2.5, 3 years ago. So, Muse of Nightmares. These questions are really, really just set up for me to keep giving you the same answers. And the next question is your favourite like new author, so new to you, not necessarily a debut. And my answer is Becky Chambers because of A Psalm for the Wild built. Like, she's just skyrocketed to one of my favourite authors. I haven't read the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet series yet. I very much want to, and I'm sure I will soon when I get time. But my anticipation for that series has just gone through the roof, having read A Psalm for the Wild built, because it was amazing. The next question is your newest fictional crush. I still don't really do fictional crushes that much. I guess I do a little bit, but I more just appreciate them for their pairings in the book. So I'm going to say, and this probably doesn't count for newest, but it's the most recent one that I'm really feeling, is Laszlo and Sarai from Strange the Dreamer. I obviously have loved them together since I first read it 2-3 years ago, but rereading it has reawakened that love for me, and they are so adorable and so amazing. And Laszlo honestly is not a fictional crush, but if I could meet someone like him in real life, I would not complain. So we're gonna go with Laszlo and Sarai from Strange the Dreamer. Honestly, crush on both. Yeah, crush on them both, crush on them as a couple. We'll go with that. I hate videos like this where I just talk about the same 2 books over and over and over again, so I do apologise, but blame the questions, not me. This question's gonna do it as well. Newest favourite character. Mosscap from Psalm of the Wild Built. Obviously. Just obviously. Why am I just talking about the same 2 books? I'm sorry, we're going out of order. Freakout, why not? Back to Fictional Crush, Jane Shu from One Last Stop. Yes, big fan of that. So yeah, favourite character. Yeah, Mosscap and Axe, but Mosscap from Song for a Wild Bill. This book has really got my whole heart this year. I feel like I've not read anything else worth talking about, and that is evidenced here by not talking about anything else. I'm so sorry for this. I don't want to answer the next 2 questions, because it's book that made you cry and book that made you happy. Muse of Nightmares and The Psalm of the Wild Built. Both books for both. Why? What? I have read 54 books so far this year. 56 books, and I can only talk about 2 of them. No, oh my god, this is absolutely ridiculous. I feel like I have had quite a lot of good, but not like overwhelmingly good books sorry, I just kicked my camera. I feel like I have had a lot of good books, but not like overwhelmingly good books this year. So I'm just really going back to the same few. Other books that made me happy. Szpara Will Take Me by Phil Stamper, an amazing LGBTY contemporary. Massively reminded me of all my nostalgia of playing in orchestras and playing music, and has actually got me playing the flute again since, so that is way up there. Actuary Age Brown obviously made me incredibly happy. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was a reread, but did make me cry. What else? Between Perfect and Real did make me very happy. That was super cute. Perfect on Paper also made me happy. Broem also, for a fictional crush. Yes. Oh, and then the Outrage by Willaim Hussey also made me cry, but the author's note at the end made me cry more than the book itself, but it still did. It had me in tears, and I think that's actually the most significant tears a book has had me in a really long time, so props to that. This is just, I'm finding other books to talk about. I'm so sorry. The next question is the most beautiful book you have bought or received this year, and my answer is my Fairy Loot edition of Raybearer. I did cave and buy this. It is stunning. It's got just the standard cover with foiling, which is beautiful, but the edges, my favourite thing on the planet. I am obsessed. Other than that, it's a pretty standard hardback, but I am never getting over this as the most beautiful thing in the world. And it's got these like super white pages, and it's got illustrations at like the beginning of every chapter, and it's just so pretty. Like, it's got little leafy things. I just love it a whole heap, and it's so pretty. The next question is books you need to read before the end of the year, as if that wasn't a painfully long list, and me looking around my flat I have about 30,000. I do have a video which is like my most intimidating books and books I want to read by the end of 2021, or like my top 10 books I'm going to read this year. And I don't think I've read a single one of them. I don't think I'm doing very well. The other thing I said I was going to do this year was read lots of series, which is going to be interesting considering I'm falling into a fantasy slump at the moment and most of my series are fantasy. But I think the Black Wings Beating series is definitely what I want to finish this year. I read the first book a couple months ago and loved it just as much as I did the first time, but the first time I didn't continue and then felt I needed to reread the first one before continuing, and so I don't want to get stuck in that trap again, as it is a very detailed series, so I'm definitely keen to continue with that. There's so many series I need to read. I'd love to read The Wayfarers by Becky Chambers, as I'm massively on a Becky Chambers hype at the moment, but that's 4 books, so I don't know. There are so many. There are book club picks. I'm not doing any more read-alongs as far as I know, so those are off. But I do have, like, 6 more FAES and Gaze books I need to read. Actually, possibly more, because I've not read the May one yet. So 7 more of those. I can't honestly tell you what they all are, but I need to read them. But yeah, lots of series. Like I said, I was going to read Poppy War. I was going to read Red Rising. All of these things. And I definitely will not read all of them. But I would like to tick off, say, like, 1 more full series. And maybe, like, 2 of the books from my must-read in 2021 list. Because I don't think I've read any of them yet. So those, maybe. The next question is my favourite video I've done so far this year, and I think the answer does have to be the Whatever-thon announcement, along with actually the vlog of reading the Feverwake duology. That was really fun, but I think it does have to be the Whatever-thon announcement because it was just so exciting to film, having had that thought in my brain for so many months, and now everyone's excited and whateverthon's currently happening. So that's always good fun, and I've had a fantastic time with it so far. So I think it's gonna have to be that. That's definitely a top point of the year so far. Oh, and then the final question, favourite book community members. This is one long list, but we're going to start with the basics. Spoops from Spoopy Hole, Ro from Wandering Through Words, India from What India Read, Steph from Steph Loves, Jade from JD Ray Reads, Katie from Brightness Katie Reads, Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction, Becca from Becca in the Books, Cody from Cody's Book Corner, and Gavin from Gavin Hetherington. Standard top 10. Other people I want to shout out. Michael from An Average Reader, love his videos. Teresa from Sappho's Library, oh my god, if you need queer, especially sapphic recs, please go check out her videos. Beth from Book's Nest, also fantastic, love her videos. I'm just going through like all my favourite creators now because I have a memory of a gnat. Sid from Sid Bookworm. Bookworm? From Sid Bookworm, of course, especially Spin the Bottle TBR, fantastic. Christy from Christy Ewan, recently started a channel and her videos are fantastic. Please check them out. Obviously this whole list will be linked down below. And then we're gonna go finally with Shanice from Shanice Noel, who again, videos are fantastic. She's had to take a bit of a break because of school, but she's back now and her videos are great and you are missing out if you're not watching them. So there's a list of probably like 16 maybe creators who will all be linked below, all of whom you should check out, especially smaller creators who are like Christy, who's just started, and Michael from The Average Reader. Like please, 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 please check these people out. You will not regret it one bit. Okay, so this was a horrifically chaotic video. I'm not sure I said anything of substance. I feel like the only message you can take is please pre-order Psalm for the Wild build by Becky Chambers because it's amazing. But I'm going to stop talking because this was just, I'm so sorry for the state of this video, but it's called the mid-year book freakout tag, so it wouldn't be fitting if I wasn't freaking out at least a little bit. Though, overall, I'm actually not freaking out too much about my reading so far. I've already surpassed my reading goal for the year, and when I'm filming this, we're not even halfway through. So I'm feeling pretty good, to be fair. Though I have no idea how I'm going to read anything for the next 6 months if the world reopens, because I have things I want to do and people I want to see, but it is what it is. I've got lots of reading done, it's fine. But that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below answers to the questions or anything. Recommend creators to me. I'd love to find more as always. Subscribe if you'd like to see more bookish content from me. There are links down below to all of my social media, as well as book clubs, read-alongs and readathons that I host. So please check them all out, as well as my wishlist and my Patreon if you want to check out any of those. But that is it for the video, so bye, and I'll see you in the next one.